What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sonship TV. We are a clothing company that seeks to dress you up and help you preach the gospel without you having to say a word. Today we'll be talking about self-image, self-confidence. What do you tell yourself? Who told you what to tell yourself? Are you beautiful? Are you ugly? When you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you tell yourself? Are you strong? Are you weak? With us, we've got Harriet Wangeci Mwaniki, but she prefers me to call her Wangeci Mwaniki, so please call her Wangeci Mwaniki as well.
Correct.
And we're going to be talking about these things. With me, I have Wangeci Mwaniki, an amazing woman of God. She should be in the United States of America right now, but she's not. Why are you going to the US in the first place?
I was going for an internship. Shout out to cool organization there that do pro-life.
Right.
And yeah, just speaking up for human dignity and for the human person, really.
Right.
But Corona is quite allowing me to be in this space. But I'm very grateful. Romans 8:28. All things work together.
All things work together for. She's a preacher girl. Hey, she's a preacher. Hey. I think organization.
Yes.
Which organization is this?
They're called the World Youth Alliance, and they are a youth NGO, non-profit NGO, that protect and promote human dignity.
Right.
So I've been in their space for the last 3 years, and they've allowed me to just work with young people within the country.
Wow.
And just work towards allowing the human person to thrive in their value and worth.
So what is this human person value and worth? Self-image, self-confidence. Feel as in about, some people don't know what this stuff is all about.
Great. So self-image basically is just the idea and perception you have of yourself. What you think of yourself, how you perceive your abilities, your personality, your strengths, your weaknesses, just how you look at yourself. And self-confidence is now the trust you have in your abilities and in yourself. So the idea is self-image, and then self-confidence is the trust you have in these abilities and in this personality and in just who you are.
Right. So what you're saying is that self-image is not just positive, it can also be negative.
Yes.
I may have a negative self-image of myself.
Correct.
But now self-confidence is now whereby I know myself and I am confident in who I am.
Correct.
By the way, she has been the most confident lady I know. We were in the same primary school. Let me tell you a short story. I was in standard 8, she was in class 5. She was dancing with boys in my class.
Wow, when you say it like that, it looks horrible.
There were girls also, but she was hanging out with class 8 people. A class 5 girl, I was like, hey, some confidence you got there. So have you always been this confident?
Were you
born with it? Like,
it has a lot to do also with personality. I'm very extroverted. I'm a sanguine by nature, so it has a lot to do with definitely just me. But then also I've grown up with people who really believe in me. Like even when I'm doubting, like, hey, am I really the bomb? I have guys who are like,
affirming
manze where when you say. Yeah.
So your language, your love is probably words of affirmation.
Quality time. Then words of affirmation.
You all have heard in that same note. Are you single?
In the wise words of my predecessor, predecessor, correct? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Yeah?
You're like your youth pastor.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
Okay.
Especially the not want.
Okay, so you don't want to have a boyfriend, a husband, a family? There are some suitors out there who are like, what's going on?
When my mom sees
this.
Oh wow, my mom is probably watching this video and saying, Madam, nakuambia sana better into tafadhali, please don't close the door.
Right.
But I'm just happy in my space.
You're happy in your space. Okay, we will go with that one.
Correct.
We will go with that one. But what kind of man are you looking for though?
Wow. Hey. You really just put me on the hot seat. A believer. And not just a believer in words, a believer in actions. Being a Christian is a doing place. You have to do. It's not a I say. So just a believer and someone who we can talk deep things, and because I'm very philosophical.
Right.
But then someone with a bit of nonsense in their life, because life is just
somebody
never
with a bit of wisdom. Don't leave me.
a bit of nonsense in their life.
Sure.
Someone to just do life with.
Sure.
Yeah.
So how has mentorship helped you develop a positive self-image of yourself?
Yeah. Wow, I think mentorship plays a key role in how people look at themselves and how you perceive yourself.
Sure.
Definitely, and not just even mentorship in the traditional sense of you sit under someone, just having people who are older than you and who've gone before you, that
Right.
you're doing life with, who affirm you and who really just encourage you in your strengths.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't mean they don't point out the weaknesses, because if they
Sure.
don't point out the weaknesses, you cannot be better.
True.
So definitely I've had throughout my life consistently people who are ahead of me, you know, advise me and speak wisdom in my life, real wisdom, not not
Real wisdom,
real
not
wisdom.
only me.
Yeah, and just encourage me to grow in my giftings, because you see, self-image also has the place of you looking at your abilities and skills and talents and being able to grow them.
Yeah.
So just having people who say, okay, I think you're really good at this, stick to this, follow
Yeah.
this path, you know, has really allowed me to thrive in my giftings. So mentorship definitely has played a key role. Just having people who affirm you and who point out your strengths and say, I think you should do this and you should do
Yeah.
a bit more of this,
Yeah.
has really, really grown me into
Who are
I
these
am.
people? Can you just mention 2-3 names of these people out there?
Fun fact,
Yeah.
Mrs. Itambo, I don't know if she'll ever watch this.
Mrs. Itambo,
She's our headmistress, in primary
yeah.
school. And this woman, for some reason, just took me under her wing. We were besties. And she's my headmistress. I'd go and like have tea at her office.
Hey, you
Yes.
in your house. These ones are those ones.
And for some reason, she would just like have me
Hey,
in
that's-
her space.
That's a whole new level of teacher's pet. You are not just the teacher, it's the
And
headmistress.
I was called a teacher's pet in primary school,
Right.
sadly. But she really had me in her space, and she'd really affirm some of these things. She'd be like, you are a teacher at heart.
Yeah.
And so even when I'm able to grow in that gifting now, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, wow, if she didn't speak like that, if she didn't take me under her wing, oh wow, man, Mrs. Itambo definitely. There's an amazing lady called Patricia. She's in my space.
Patricia.
Yeah, Patricia Gwambo. So she's in my space of just where NGOs related and just advocacy.
Right.
She's the most calm human who affirms you in the most interesting of ways.
Right.
She'll call me and be like, Wangeci, I think you're really good at this, in the most calm and sweet way possible, definitely. Yeah, so those are the guys I'm thinking, yani off the top.
Off the top
yeah,
of your head.
off the top of my head.
Nice.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody out there who feels like they are useless? Somebody out there who feels like they cannot amount to anything in life? Somebody there who has probably experienced verbal abuse, you know, somebody who just feels like, you know, me, let to life flow, you know. What would you tell that person out there?
Number one, the one person that you spend all your life with is yourself.
Right.
I keep saying you are with yourself forever. So how you see yourself is important. If you're going to move from point A to point B, you need to see yourself valuable and someone with worth. And the truth of the matter is, one of my close friends says God is intentional, methodical, and very strategic. So if He has you
Intentional,
here,
methodical, very strategic.
Yes. So if He has you here, if He has you in the world, then there is value and worth in you that the world needs at this point in season. So you need to be able to see yourself from the eyes of the one who created
Wow.
you. You see, the problem with self-image in this generation, we want to see ourselves in light of other people, but we do not want to see ourselves, exactly, we don't want to see ourselves in light of our creator.
Right.
So if the creator of the thing is the one to define the created.
Right.
So because you're created by God, then allow Him to define how you are. And He says you are beautifully and wonderfully made. You know, in the book of Psalms, David says, I will praise you for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So if you see yourself in light of how God sees you, you will find worth and value.
Right.
Plus, if the Holy Spirit lives inside of you, definitely the Holy Spirit is not living in just everything and anything. So there is worth and value in every one of us.
Sure.
try to see yourself in light of what God sees in you. Last thing, Jesus is telling his disciples, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your souls. The second greatest command is love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Right.
For you to love your neighbor as you love yourself, you have to be able to love yourself so that you're able to love your neighbor.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you love yourself? I heard this quote that self-discipline is actually the ultimate self-love.
Correct.
Like you love yourself, so you're like, I'm not going to eat another pizza because I don't want all that to mess me up in the future. You know, you love yourself that you want to plan ahead. You know, you love yourself, so you discipline your life. So is that what you're trying to say?
Very much, I agree. Love yourself and allow yourself to do things that are beneficial for you.
Yeah.
Mind, body, spirit.
Yeah.
Beneficial to you body-wise, exercise, which I just definitely
Mimi,
need to get in.
I need help from you just a little bit. Personally, I tend to be very hard on myself. Like if I want to do something and it does not work out, I can be very hard on myself. So for me and my brothers and sisters out there, what can you tell us?
Carson, a famous, beautiful teacher.
Yeah, was also mentioned by Pastor Brian Mashigadi last week. So Carson is a go-to guy.
Yeah, he was talking about how God in his wisdom created the world in 6 days, and then on the 7th day he said rest.
Right.
And he called it the Sabbath. And he was saying that, have you ever realized God didn't need to rest?
Right.
He was talking about rest so that we could follow in that example, because we need to be able to allow ourselves to rest, and not just rest physically, but to rest from all the worries and the doubts and the anxieties around us.
Wow.
He was talking about how it is important for us to rest because God understands the way he made us. Without it, we will crash.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to rest, and not just rest physically, but also mentally. Allow your mind to rest.
Sure.
The things that you're trying to do and they're not working out, leave them at the hands of God and allow it to rest. Because we were created, yes, to work and to worship God and to do all these things, but then we were also created to have a rest in that. So allow yourself to rest. Be good to yourself. You know, allow yourself to say, okay, that didn't work out, but tomorrow is another day.
Tomorrow is another
Let's
day.
try it tomorrow. Correct.
Do you have a pet? Are you a cat, dog, or a dog? Or
I am.
What? Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Wow, am I a dog, a cat? Excuse me, sir?
Or a salamander person. There are some people, or a monkey person. You know.
Wow.
I saw another one hugging a goose. So, anyway.
Okay. Crazy people out in the streets. I'm definitely a cat person.
Right.
So my brother had this cat, and he was called Minnie. And I realized I'm quite obsessed. I'm really just a cat person.
Is it a male or a female, or you don't know it?
Minnie was a male. Initially, true, fun story. We thought he was a female, but we thought he was a female. So we called him Minnie after Minnie Mouse, because there's like
Mickey Mouse,
Minnie Mouse.
Right.
So we called him Minnie, and then so a couple of months later, we're just like chilling in the house, and then he passes by, lifts his tail, and we're like, guys, I think we made a mistake. This cat is definitely not a girl.
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
We can see the boy stuff.
This show has just become PG.
Wow. So, finally, thank you so much for your wisdom.
Thank you for having me.
Slide into her DM if you are
Correct.
doubting yourself, if you feel like you're worthless, if you're about to give up on life. Slide to her DM. She will give you some words of affirmation. She will encourage you in the Lord. Guys, don't be too much.
Don't be too extra.
Don't be too much. Shout out to 2 or 3 people who are on Instagram, your friends who,
Definitely Cynthia Maingi, my girl. Oh my God, this woman is just the one.
Cynthia
Maingi, or rather
Shout
Kari
outs to
Maingi. Shut up.
Hey.
Shout out to you. I was about to say shout out.
Anybody else?
Off the top of my mind, Susan Gishuru. Let me just tell you.
She has been mentioned 2 times.
This woman
last week,
is
this week.
Brilliant.
We need to have her on board. Probably
Please.
next week we might just have Susan Gishuru
Correct,
right
please.
here.
She's a finance coach. Very Brilliant, very brilliant. Shout out to you, most definitely. And all these people who just make us laugh, really. You know, don't leave me, guys. And, like, just shout out to all of you who make us laugh a lot on Instagram.
Any parting shot, any wisdom, anything you want to leave us?
When I think of parting shots and wisdom, I think of my predecessor.
Don't leave me.
Wow. I think I'll say this. God has created you for a purpose.
Right.
And he's intentional, he's methodical, he's strategic.
Sure.
Allow yourself to shine in that light that God has created you for a reason. There's a reason why you're here. There's a purpose to all this. And so seek to see yourself in God's light. Seek to see yourself the way God sees you.
Seek to see yourself in God's light. Seek to see yourself the way God sees you.
Correct.
See you next week on Sonship TV.